Hello and good evening. Welcome to Monday Night Live, everyone. How are you doing? It's been a while since we've done one of these, but I'm glad to be back. Tonight we're talking about Tim Holtz ideology, and it's been a long time since I've created something that I'm going to show with you tonight. So, yeah, it's been a long time, but man, did I ever have fun today. I did have to prep quite a bit beforehand because it was a lot of pace and, things that would have taken way too long to dry on Monday Night Live. So I did a lot of pre-work so we could do kind of more of the finishing and decorating of it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip over to my overhead camera and I'm going to show you something I made with Tim Holtz ideology about 12 years ago. So I found it. I have lots more, but this is the only thing I can find. I think the rest is in storage underneath my stairs, and I did not want to be crawling under there today. So I did find one thing. So let me flip over to my overhead camera. There we go. So I found this mostly because I keep it handy because I do put it out every holiday season. So this box, it's huge. I can't even get it all on camera. I don't even know how big it is. I didn't even measure it. It's huge. 12. It's about 18 inches by 12 by 14. Now this box was not Tim Holtz. I don't even know who got this box. Like I said, I made this a long time ago, but it's all Tim Holtz ideology. There's 6 squares. I've used dies. I've used some of his marquee wood letters, of course, the paper dolls, lots of die cutting, more paper dolls. Like I use tons of stuff in here. I use the ball brush trees, more marquee letters, more die cuts, more die cuts. Now this one actually lights up. I'm just going to plug it in there. So the power unit is in behind the tree. I don't know if you can see it. It's one of the little lanterns in there. Isn't that fun? Oh my goodness. This one also, I stick one of these in behind it. So it just sticks in there behind the word leave. But I made this, I'm trying to remember. It's got to be at least 10, 12 years old. So anyhow, this one was fun. I love it. I get it out every Christmas. It sits on our mantle and I love it. And it's so much fun. I'm going to unplug these and turn them off because if I don't, I'll forget. And by Christmas, they'll be dead. So I've made other ones. I thought I had a Halloween one, but I couldn't find it. But Tim Holtz ideology, that's what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to bring in something that I made with this year's ideology. I'm just going to bring in some pieces here so I can show it to you. So this is one of the vignette boxes. Let me bring it out here. So this is the vignette display panel is what this is. So it is all brown. It's just brown wood. But I painted it today. I painted it with white gesso. And then I sanded it because, you got to distress it. Now on the back, this is some paper from the backgrounds, from this year's backgrounds paper. So I cut it out. It's put on with matte medium, and then I covered it also with matte medium. Now, these vignette boxes, you can either use this flat side or you can use this side where you've got the dimension here. You can use either, you can use both. I'll probably end up using both. I'll probably finish this side once I'm done the inside. But for right now, I painted it. I sanded. Just look at my sanding. Look at that. That is some nice distress. And then I put some paper on it. I also did the same. I painted the inside of it, painted the inside, and then I put on 2 more pieces of that baseboard paper. So one is flat with matte medium. This one also from the same baseboards paper, but I cut the edge out. I cut some of the bricks out and I wanted to lay it over. Now this is not laid flat. What I did, and I did this a lot, is I keep a bunch of pieces of chipboard. So I actually built this up on the back with a few layers of chipboard, help pop it up. I don't know if you can see that, it's popped up there. And then these words here came out of, let me find it here, the Christmas sticker book. So I just grabbed a bunch and kind of stuck it in those recesses of where I cut the bricks out of. So I wanted that to look like a brick wall. Now, just give me a moment. I just want to lower my camera a little bit. I raised it up so we could look at that other box. There we go. Hello, everyone. Hello. Okay. So that is kind of what I did there. Now, I did take some opaque crackle paste. And this is after I painted it and sanded back some of the edges. I put some of the crackle paste, let me see if I can get that to focus, along the edge. So you can see that that's why I had to do this earlier in the day, because you have to give time for that crackle paste. Oh, I don't know where I went there. I'm all plugged in. What is going on? I did put that crackle paste on there and I let it dry. Okay. And then I took some, here I'm looking at all of the things I've got here. Did I take that? I'm trying to remember now. I think I did use just the opaque crackle. And then I put it inside here. And while it was still wet, I sprinkled on some of the snowflake glitter and mica flakes in there and then let it dry. Now, while it was still wet, I did take one of these, and this is from, and this brings me to tonight's giveaway. This is from the baseboards. Oh, do you know what? I think I called this baseboards. That's not baseboards. That's this. Backgrounds. That's from the backgrounds here. So, sorry, backdrops Christmas. So all of the paper that I used came from this backdrops paper. There's so much. I'm going to use some to make cards. So this, it's the most wonderful time of the year, is from this baseboards pack. And you get so many wonderful things in here. Look, you get like doors and windows, and you get signs. Oh, that's not from there. And you get all of these. Like, so much fun, right? Like, oh my gosh, I love it all. Now, for tonight's giveaway, and I'm sorry I don't have a package of them because I opened mine up, I am giving you one of the Layers and Paper Dolls. Layers and Paper Dolls packs worth $18.95. One of you is going to get it. What year is the backdrops from? I don't know. I don't know. Let me see if it's on the... No, I don't know what year it's from. Yeah. So one of you is going to win a pack of the Layers and Paper Dolls from this year's Christmas release. And I love them. I love the paper dolls. And I'm going to be using lots of this tonight. So watch out. Okay, so how do you win? You got to comment, because right now I've got my giveaway tool running in the background. It's running in the background, and at the end, before I say goodbye, we're going to run that giveaway generator, and it's going to pick one of you to win. Sorry, I just had to go over to my modem to make sure I was plugged directly into it. There we go. Woohoo! Okay, so this is my base. So I did check, it is dry, so that's, I'm going to set this aside for the moment. I'm going to show you some other pieces that I created, because we're also going to be working with the trees, the woodland trees. We're going to be using the lights. These are idea-ology too, and I love these. But I did sort of prep a few other pieces ahead of time. This is from those baseboards. So you can see that they are a fairly thick chipboard. I don't know why my screen keeps going black. I don't know. Here we go. So we are going to be using this. Now, I did take some glazing glue earlier today, some Spellbinders glazing glue, and I went over the bow on the wreath, and I did some of the berries on the wreath. Okay, so that's going to be used. I wanted to do that ahead of time. This is also from the baseboards. It's one of the windows. It's one of the windows here. And I took on here, where you see all of that, that is the sparkle texture paste. I went and did it along the top. I did along the top part of the window here, and I did along the bottom. And again, I sprinkled it with the glitter and mica flakes. And I did that earlier. It is actually, I did this probably about 4 hours ago, and it's not dry yet. Where these white spots are, that's still wet. So yeah, I'm going to be really careful with that. This piece of paper, I took this out of the backdrops paper, and I cut it to fit behind my window because I'm going to be putting lights in here. Oh, me too, Julie. I love doors and windows. They're so much fun. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to include the lights in here and how you can add lights. And we sell these. These are the Tim Holtz idea-ology. It comes, you get 2 light strands per pack. Now, you do not get batteries. You do have to buy the batteries separately, but you can get packs of them off of Amazon for a fairly decent price. So that's, I usually keep a bunch of those around. Now, this also came out of the baseboards. Now, you might see this. This actually in the pack is not a street sign. It's actually one of these lights. So you could put a light in here and light it up, but I actually wanted to make it into a sign. So this is another baseboard piece, and I stuck it to the back of the sign. Now you can see, and that actually moved on me when I moved it. I might have to fix that. I've built it up with some chipboard on there as well, because when I put it in my background, I don't want it to lay on the back. I want it to have a little bit of depth. Yeah, everything I'm using is idea-ology, except the only thing I haven't used that isn't idea-ology is the glazing glue, and the matte medium was Ranger, and the crackle paste. These are the only things I didn't use. Oh, sorry, there was one more. Light and fluffy. The light and fluffy is what's on the top of that sign. That's the light and fluffy. Oh, Kim, those are on sale on Prime Day. I'm gonna have to get more because I actually had to steal these 2 for tonight out of my art journal, off an art journal page, because I forgot them. Okay, these are the only things I'm not using that, or the only things I'm using that aren't ideology. Everything else is ideology. Yes. So I picked out, I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of them, but I did pick out some of the paper dolls. And I've got a couple of the woodland trees. And I'm going to show you some cool things that you can do with these. So we're going to do that first because they're going to need a little bit of time to dry while I'm working with the lights. So let me bring in, I just got this box here that I'm going to use here. This is peeled paint, distress spray stain. I am going to just add this to my trees because I didn't want them to be that beige color. Look how nice that is. Ooh. There we go. So there, my trees are now colored. Love, look at that, so nice. I'm just gonna set that aside because I'm done with that. But look how beautiful those are. Isn't that fun? Yes, I just applied the light and fluffy stuff with a palette knife on, let me find it here again. Yeah, I just took a palette knife and I took some of the fluffy stuff and I just dabbed it along the top there. I just wanted to make it look like there was snow sitting on top of that sign. Yeah. Yes, there you go. Isn't that easy? But I'm going to show you something else. I just need to make sure they're not too wet. Okay, perfect. I need to get, hang on, I need to get, here it is. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Here it is. That's what I need. I'm just going to grab a piece of palette paper because this next step can be kind of messy and I don't want it to be messy. So I'm just using, this is a 6x6 palette paper pad from the Crafters Workshop. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to take some of the snowflake glitter and mica flakes. Just going to sprinkle well, that's a lot, but I'm just going to sprinkle that over there. Spread that out a bit. Okay. Next, I am going to take some matte medium. Just going to take my palette knife. I'm just going to spread some out pretty thin on the other side here. Okay, next I'm going to take my tree. I'm going to just gently roll that tree in the matte medium. No, don't worry, it's turning green. Of course it's going to do that because I've got the matte medium on here, or I've got the spray on there. And then I'm going to roll it in the mica and glitter. And now my tree is covered in the mica. And look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm just going to take that. I'm really gently going to sit that down out of the way because I can be a bit of a bull in a china shop sometimes. So I'm just going to set that out of the way for a moment until I grab my second one. I have not worked with the Tim Holtz ideology like this in so long. Oh, fell off its base. There are so many cool things you can do with this stuff. Do you know what? That keeps falling out of his base, so I'm going to grab some matte medium. We're going to stick that back in there. Let's glue that back in. Okay, so I've got the matte medium on there, and now I'm just going to roll it in that mica, snowflake, and glitter. And there you go. Isn't that fun? Oh my gosh. Okay, setting that off to the side again, so I don't knock it over. So it's going to need a little bit of time to dry. Just going to pick this up and put it back in there. Good, good, good. Okay, let's get rid of the palette paper. Don't need that anymore. Just look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, let's start working on the lights. Okay, let's bring this back in here. Okay, now I have to be really careful because like I said, parts of this is still wet. Now you don't want to ruin it, but I am going to turn it over just really gently. Now I have added in some double thick, and don't ask me where I got this. We don't have it on sale. I can't remember where we got it, but I put some 3D foam on there to help pop it up. I am going to peel off just the release paper on the outside. I'm not going to do the release paper on the inside yet because I'm not going to be sticking the lights on there. Okay, so I've exposed all of the adhesive on the whole way around. Now, let me grab my lights. Let's just get rid of this for a second. So this is your light pack. Now, let me just show you. They're the batteries. And let's check and make sure it works. Woo! Yep, it's working. It's working. Okay, I'm going to tangle it here. Okay, move this in. So this is going to sit here, and I want the lights to come out. See this little gap I left there? So that light pack is actually going to come out that side and lay in the bottom. So I just need to remember that. So light pack is going to go out this side here. So I actually want my lights to go. I'm going to show you how I'm attaching this. Do I always attach them like this? Not always, but this just happens to work out really well. See why I did everything else out earlier? Because I decided I was going to do this live on camera. Probably not a great idea, but anyhow, we are just going for it. Sometimes it can be a little finicky. Okay, see how I'm attaching the lights? Oh, stay where you are. There we go. Let me get this whole bottom part done, and then I will show you. Now, I am going to be putting something along the bottom on the outside of this window, but this is where Julia gets frustrated. No, they don't heat up, actually. Thanks, Jackie. You can do it. All right. Maybe if I had the lights turned on, you'd be able to see it better. Yes, there we go. Now, of course, when I stick this down, the adhesive is going to then seal it, right? Stay, darn you all. Now, I'm not so worried much about the wire. But look how cool that's turning out to be. I love it. Now, there are other ways of attaching these, and I've done it in many other ways. But using 3D foam adhesive is probably the easiest. It just takes a little bit of finesse. Little bit of finesse. I forgot to mention, Nancy's here with me. Yes, and I have actually used these lights on the trees before. They do look gorgeous. Oh, I love it. Now, these wires are pretty easy to put out of the way. And they might take a little bit. There we go. And that's going to stick through there. Okay. Now, I could go around with these lights. I wonder if I should do that because I didn't really have a plan for the rest of them. Do you know what? Actually, I do have a plan because I can work on the fly. Okay. So this piece of paper is actually going to be my backing. So this is going to go on here. And there, I've built my little window. Isn't that fun? Now, there are some of the wires here, but I'm going to bend those around. But look at that. And I used it. It says world famous candy. So it's actually a little sweet shop. Okay. Let's bring this back in. How long is that light string? Let me get 2, 3, 4. Let me get the other one out and measure it for you. I've never measured them. I've never measured them. My goodness. Okay, so just the lights themselves. Julia. Nancy, are you laughing at me? Now I've just made a right mess with these. Okay, here we go. They're not normally this tangled. This is Julia kind of freaking out on camera. That's what's happening here. Oh my goodness, that took way longer than it needed to be. Can you cut the string of lights to shorten them? I don't know. I've never done that either. You guys are asking all the hard questions. Okay, so we've got 22 inches. 22 plus 15, whatever that is. I don't do math. Yeah, 22 plus 15, whatever that is. Okay, so look at that. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so my light pack is going to go down here at the bottom, and we are going to, I'm going to cover this with a sign. Now, I need to flip it around. What you need to make sure you do is when you put it in, make sure you can reach the on-off switch fairly easily. Because if you don't, you're just going to give yourself so much issues. Okay, so that's actually going to go there. And then I'm going to take a sign, also from the baseboard kit, this one right here, and that's going to go right in front of it. So you're not going to be able to see it for the most part. Yep. So the top, this part opens. So I'm going to put my double-sided adhesive on this side so I can stick it down. So the lights are my favorite thing about this, honestly. I love the lights. So much fun. Double-sided tape. Let me check that again. Yes. He does have different lights. He did have some for Halloween, not this year that I remember, but he has had like purple and green lights, and then Christmas he had red and green. I personally just like the white lights. I think you can do a lot with them. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this down first. It's just going to be easier if you stick that down first. And I'm going to wrap the wire around it, and it's going to go right down here at the bottom, because that is going to go here. Oh, I love it. Okay. Oh, right. I forgot about that. That the paper, that the dynamic duo is going to be talking about lights. Yes. Because you guys are going to do Pear Blossom. I forgot about that. We had somebody at Carnival this year, not Carnival, sorry, Scrapaganda, and she saw our Pear Blossom display, and she saw the candle card, the one where you light it up and then you blow it out, and her mind was blown. She asked me, she goes, how does that work? And I said, it's magic. And then she laughed, and I laughed, and then she thought it was amazing. Okay, so there's my little thing, so I can turn the lights on and off. How do you change the batteries? Well, I put it in so I can pop this open. I put it in so I can pop it open and change the batteries. So just make sure the adhesive that you put on the back, you make sure you put it on the side that doesn't open. But this, I put it in such a way that it will open and I can change the batteries. And I did that in my art journal as well, because this was actually, these batteries were in my art journal for a light up page I did for a class, and I couldn't find batteries, so I had to open that up. Okay, so now that I've got this extra string of lights, I could put it around the outside as well. I could string it, I could put it, you know, around the bottom, which that was my initial thought, is I think I might put some glue at the bottom and put it down there. But look how fun that is. Oh my gosh, look how fun. So how do you stick it down there? Well, I can use paste. You can use glue, you can use paste. I'm not going to use paste now just because of the time. But that will get stuck down there. And I might actually stick it down with that. Ooh, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Glue. Where is my glue? Where is my glue? Where is my glue? Here it is. Now you can use wet glue, you can use matte medium, you can use 3D glue, whatever you want. But I am going to use this glue, and I'm going to use it to hold my light strand down. Pardon my head, but I need to look over this. There we go. Oh, yes. And then this side is going to go in here to cover that up, but I need to move it over so I still have access to that switch. Actually, do you know what? That sticks in there pretty good. I don't even have to glue it in. That way I can move it and access it. Love. Okay, so here's that wreath. And that wreath is going to go up here. Now you can see, because it's 3D and because I've added texture paste, see how it wibbly wobblies up there? So that means I need to add some chipboard on either side to help even it out. So I'm going to grab some of my chipboard scraps here. I'm going to cut some smaller pieces. Small pieces of chipboard. Stick it on the side. There we go. These things are fun to make. And now that I've made one, now I'm just like, oh, I want to make something else. I want to make something else. Do you know what? I don't think Brianna's here. Has anyone seen Brianna? Do you know what? Brianna's on vacation this week, so she shouldn't be here. She should be taking the night off. But maybe I'll give this to her as a Christmas gift for her mantle in her place. Just between you and me, this is going to be a gift for Brianna. Okay, so I've just built that up a little bit on the sides there. So then I can put it on here, and now it doesn't wibbly wobbly. See that? Okay, so let me just take some glue. Now, after I do these, I'm using a lot of glue, a lot of paste. It's really good to let this sit for a day or two to let everything dry. But look how cute this is. Oh my gosh. So my trees are going to be in here. Is one tree bigger than the other? They're the same. They are the same. I think I might stick. I don't know. Maybe I just use one for right now. I think I just use one for right now. We get a lot of people, especially people who are not familiar with Tim Holtz, and they come in and they see all this 3D stuff and they're like, what in the world do you do with that? Well, there is a lot of things you can do with them. There's a lot of things that you can do. There, my trees in there. Look how fun. Where are my people? Where are my people at? Here we go. Now, with these paper doll people, you can do stuff with them. You can color them. You can, you know, whatever you want. But the Tim Holtz got another. Yes. So these ones, which we have been waiting months for to come back in stock, these are the recoil scissors, and they do not have a serrated edge, and I love these. I've got the big ones. I use these for bigger cutting jobs, but these are the ones I love so much, and they come with a little locking mechanism, and they recoil, so they're a lot easier on your hands, and I love them so much. We have been waiting for these to come back in stock. I could not tell you how long. I think we've got about 48 on order, so when we get them back in stock, there's going to be a lot back in stock. Look at how cute this is. Okay, so I got mom and dad. Mom and dad are going to go here because they're like, come on, kids, let's go to the sweet shop tonight. And he's holding skates, so they're going skating. And then I've got the little kiddos here, and they're going to go kind of in front. So because they're going to go in front, I need to build this up because they're going to come right up front of the box. Mom and dad are going to be back here. I don't think I'm going to use her. Sorry about that. She's lived to see another day somewhere else. But I need to build these up. But mom and dad are good. They just need to go right along the window here. So if I'm looking at that, I'm going to put glue down. I'm going to see if these will stick. I think they will. There we go. And then my kiddos are going to come up front here. So I need to build them up, which means I'm going to need some pieces of chipboard to hold them in. And then just checking, I'm still going to be able to slide that sign over. Going to be able to slide the sign over so I can shut my lights off. So that's good. But that's going to stick in there. And my kiddos need to have some built up here. Is that enough? That is not enough. Oh yes, Suzanne, yep. Do not worry. Because those are going to go there, and I'll still be able to slide this over and shut that off and turn it back on. And then push it back into place. Still more. But how can I change the batteries? You know, honestly, you know, unless you leave these on for days and days and days, these batteries last a really long time. So, you know, probably if I was to need to change them, I would just have to take the kids off. But you know what? Oh, you know, sometimes I'm just so smart. I guess it's high enough. I think I might use a magnet. Look at me. Look at me go. Now, do I have a magnet around here? I believe I do. I will stick a magnet on them so that I know this looks ugly when you're doing it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like so many pieces of chipboard, but once you get it together, you don't even see them. Still more. I'm going to use a magnet. Perfect. Now I just have to glue these suckers on here. Hey, magnets. I know. I don't know. It was something. Now, I'm going to be able to put the magnet on, but I'm not going to be able to pop these kids off until tomorrow because I'm going to have to let all this glue dry. If I try and put the magnet on and take them off, they're probably just going to pull everything up. One more. Perfection. Okay, I think I've got some magnets here somewhere. Or maybe not. I may not have some magnets here. I've got magnets at the store though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a magnet and a magnet here. That way I can pop these off, move that over, shut them off, pop them back on. And if I need to change the batteries, pop it off. So pretend there's a magnet there. There's no magnet there yet, but there will be a magnet there once I get my hands on them. Do I have magnets? No. I had a whole bunch of magnets. I don't know what happened to them. Somewhere I have a pile of magnets in this craft room. Oh, found them. So glue a magnet on. I'm going to put the glue there and then lay my kiddos on. And like I said, that is going to need time to dry before I can pop them off. But now they are stuck down with a magnet. Don't move them because the glue is still wet, Julia. Yes, I know. It's a good thing I did most of this ahead of time. We'd still be at painting the box if I did try to do this all over. Okay, so there's our light. Put our sign back there. Stop moving. I know the glue is wet, but stop moving. Look at how fun that is. Oh my goodness, look how cute. Now there's still tons of stuff I could do. I could still add stuff to this. I've got blank spaces up there. Let's go back here. I still have another tree. Is fun. Look at the poinsettias. I could cut these up. I could stick one behind the window. In fact, let's just do that, shall we? Where did my scissors go? Oh my goodness, love it. These are one of those things where it's kind of like an art journal page. It's like, I don't know when to stop. Like you kind of just keep going and going and going until it becomes just this wonderful collage of things, right? Show it in the dark. Oh, I could shut my lights off. The room's pretty dark. I think I can stick that up in there. Maybe I stick this one under there. Oh my gosh, this has just come along so well. It's kind of like an art journal page. It's just layers. You just keep adding the layers. A joyous Christmas up there. No, I don't think so. But you get so many pieces in here too. Like there's just so much. No, I don't like that there. No. We've got, oop, whoa. There's a big wreath too, but this size of wreath really worked well with this size of window. I don't know what else I want to use. No, I don't think so. This is the part where it's like, do I stop? Do I want to stop? I think I want to stop. Oh my word. Look at how fun that is. Oh my word, I love it so much. This actually turned out way better than I even thought it was going to turn out in my head. And I love the little crackly bits along the edge. That turned out so well. I love it. But oh my gosh. Okay. So this is going to have to sit here tonight and everything's going to have to dry really well before I can, move it. Some really good photos. Oh, somebody wanted to see it with the lights off. Let me see if I can reach my lights because it's behind my computer. I don't know if I can reach it. Oh, maybe I can. completely dark, but my other light's a little bit too big. Oh, there we go. How fun is that? That is so much fun. Somebody wanted to see my art journal page that also has the lights in it. I'll show you that one. I've got two of them. One, obviously, I can't get up because I took the lights out of it. But here's my art journal page. Hopefully these lights. Oh, there we go. That's a little bright. But that's my art journal page that lights up. Isn't that fun? Okay. Okay, let me turn my light back on here. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm sweaty. That was pressure. That was so much pressure. But there we go. Loads of fun things you can do with Tim Holtz ideology. Now, all of this stuff, like all of these things, the baseboards, they don't just have to be used for these 3D vignettes. I've used them on art journal pages. Like you can do so much with them, but these are fun, especially when you add the lights, because look how fun that is. Like you got like this really cool diorama. So much depth to them, so cool, so much fun. And there you go. That is going to be a gift for Brianna. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I know when you see these 3D things and you're just like, oh, especially when you're used to scrapbooking or art journaling or card making, your brain's like, why do I want to do that? Or what do I do with that? But you have to admit, they are pretty cool. They are pretty cool. And then you get them every year and you set them around your house. And there's like, I've actually made these not like I've used the vignettes, but I've used them with photos of my kids. And I put them up in my house. And they're just, I don't know, it's different than a photo frame. They just have a different life about them. Okay, so it's time to do our giveaway tool. Give me a second here. What am I trying to do? Thank you, Bonnie. Let me go back to my front camera. Ooh. That was bright. And I'm going to go to my giveaway tool. And I do this every single time. It's like when Brianna's not here, how do I do this again? Giveaway tool. Let's draw. I hope you can see this because when I'm in this, I can't see what the other screen is doing. So let's see. Cheryl Ruby. Cheryl Ruby. Did you guys see that? Was it on your screen? Oh, it wasn't. Oh, can you see that now? Cheryl Ruby. See, I never know how to do it. Oh, I'm glad Brianna's not here watching. Cheryl Ruby, you have won the pack of, let me get rid of that, Cheryl Ruby. Did you see it there? I think I did it right. Cheryl Ruby, you have won the pack of layers and paper dolls. We'll be in contact with you to get those out to you. But you've won the paper dolls and layers from Tim Holtz Ideology. Woo! There we go, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight talking about Tim Holtz Ideology. The deal is happening tonight and tomorrow. It's happening tonight online and tomorrow in store and online. It's 25% off Tim Holtz Ideology, Stampers Anonymous stamps, and Stampers Anonymous stencils. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing. I should have said that at the beginning. I completely forgot. And thanks so much for joining me. And don't forget, if you like adding lights to your project, you're going to want to tune into our next dynamic duo happening next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, where it'll be all about pear blossom press lights. And those are pretty cool too. Thank you so much, everyone. Lovely evening. Bye.